Okay, the next one we're reviewing is called Surveillance. It's an odd, twisted film from the daughter of a twisted director. Her name is Jennifer Lynch. Her dad is David Lynch. And she uses some of the same methods that her father is famous for using, but not quite the same morbid fashion. But make no mistake about it, this film is morbid, and it stars Bill Pullman and Julia Ormond in perhaps both of their best roles in quite some time, as two FBI agents who are investigating a brutal homicide and take in three different accounts as the story is told in flashback. The story is twisted quite uneasily in its storytelling and leading up to the events of these murders, and the characters in this film are dark and sometimes downright evil. But yet in a film with this kind of premise, it strangely works. Now, one of my personal favorite and perhaps most shocking performances in this film was from that of former sitcom star of Third Rock from the Sun, French Stewart. Yes, the guy who squints. It's not even that bright out, for you Family Guy fans out there. As an overly trigger-happy and downright surly police officer who takes an odd pleasure when he shoots just about anything. This film is not mean-spirited in the sense of a horror film where it targets one thing and just goes on a blood-soaked, gore-fest roller coaster ride with no purpose or point. I didn't get the purpose and point of this film, but yet at the same time, it was for me to decide, but at least I know it was there. The movie does have trouble building the proper tension that could have made it an even better film, but yet for some reason I was still sucked into what was going on and really in awe of some of these characters whose attitudes reflected the mood and the events about to happen, and not in an obvious way, say a film like Nicolas Cage's Knowing did earlier this year, but in a way that the atmosphere really is a real atmosphere. Former SNL Saturday Night Live alum Sherry O'Terry also does quite well here as a redneck woman who sees some of this madness unfold. I really liked Pell James here as a drug-addicted woman whose life and attitude are just one big facade and walks around with just a giant chip on her shoulder. I feel a little cheated, however, when this movie ended, as I felt a little emptiness for the payoff, and even in a psychological thriller like this one, you have to have a substantially fitting payoff that relates to the events that happen. David Lynch's movie has that, and this is just something in the thin air. I'm not saying the ending was thrown together or anything like that lazily. I'm just saying it really didn't fit what I had just spent time sitting through. Despite that, it was interesting, well made, well directed with some sharp dialogue and intriguing characters. There were good performances here. There are good performances here all around, especially from French Stewart and Pal James. Despite the seemingly nonsensical ending, it wasn't enough to completely ruin the film for me, so I'm giving Surveillance a marginal recommendation, 3 stars out of 5.